WIFO FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, 105.5 FM. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO, and it's brought to you by Van's Barbecue, First Southern Bank, Murphy Builder Supply, Coffee Connection Coffee and Creamery, and Oak Quinn and Associates.
When it comes to barbecue, Van's Barbecue in Jesup is the place to be. A small family-owned business located at 1876 on the Savannah Highway. Van's Barbecue has lunch and dinner specials. Stop by or call to make an order. The number to call, 427-3358. Van's Barbecue's new manager is Sarah Van. Van's Barbecue offers potato salad, coleslaw, baked beans, and don't forget their delicious mac and cheese. Also, check out their shrimp plates, the best in town. Yes, when it comes to the barbecue, head to Van's Barbecue, locally owned and operated. Stop by and tell them the Big Dog sent you. Once again, the number to order, 427-3358.
Hi, I'm Mandy Yeomans.
And I'm Raymond Brown with First Southern Bank. As your locally owned community bank, we're here to help our community grow. Our customers are why we are here. You can tell we want your business.
We offer all types of deposit products, personal and business. We have fast, efficient service, and yes, we have online banking too. I'm sure we have an account to fit your needs. Stop by or call us at 912-588-1010 and see how First Southern Bank can help you.
FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jesup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jesup.
Do you know why most people don't invest outside work or at all? Because they don't know where to start and they don't know who to talk with. If this is you, give me a call. Hi, this is Sean O'Quinn. I can help set up a plan no matter where you are in life to get you on a suitable path to a sound financial future. Give me a call, Sean O'Quinn, at 912-385-1000 or stop by the office at 212 South 1st Street right here in Jesup. That number again is 912-385-1000.
Nothing brings people together quite like a great cup of coffee. At the Connection Coffee and Creamery, you will find a place where conversations begin and friendship never ends. Whether you're looking for a space to connect or a caffeine pick-me-up on your way to work, we've got just what you're looking for. From delicious handcrafted beverages to rich creamy ice cream or a filling breakfast and lunch items, we've got you covered. Short on time? Order through our Joe app or give us a call and we will have your items ready for pickup in our drive-thru. We are open Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 5, and Saturdays, 8 to 2. We are located at 254 West Cherry Street. We look forward to connecting with you.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. Good morning, Bob. How you doing?
I'm here.
You're here. Hey, you got your Atlanta Braves T-shirt on this morning. Go Braves!
Go Braves.
They had a heck of a year. I mean, one good year with all kinds of records done and record wins and home runs and just all kinds of stuff. And now they get ready for playoffs this Saturday against Philly and who did you say the two teams were? Philly and
Marlins.
Marlins. So two teams that we are familiar with. We'll be playing one of those beginning Saturday in Atlanta. But we do have a special guest in with us this morning here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Been a while since he's been on, but good to have him back in the studio. Bob, who do we have?
We've got former Congressman Lindsey Thomas in the studio. He was recently in Washington, D.C. He presented with a special award. I don't want to mess this up. Is it the Dingle? Is it Dingle?
Dingle Young.
Dingle Young. I just want to make sure I said the word. Dingle Young Sportsman Legacy Award. 34th Annual Sportsman Banquet up in Washington, D.C. is the highest award given by the Congressional Sportsman Foundation. So protecting fishing, hunting in this country, and that's what you want to talk about, how important hunting and fishing is to you in this area and the state of Georgia and the country. So appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Bob. You and Butch both. It's good to be here with you this morning. I just thought it with hunting season coming on, dove season's in, archery season's in. Soon we'll have primitive weapons, and then deer season and all the others that follow. And I thought it would be a good opportunity. I wanted those of you that might have seen that announcement about that award. It's not about the award. It's about the organization that presented it and what it means to the outdoor future in America. We have what was called the North American Plan for Wildlife Conservation, funded out of a bill called the Pittman-Robertson Act. It was passed in 1937. And when you go back to the history of wildlife in our country, we nearly lost many of the populations. Market hunting, no seasons, hunting out of season, all of this happened. And then in 1937, they passed the bill that really is the cornerstone for North America's wildlife success. And that is, it puts a small tax on hunting equipment, guns, ammo. Later, we added, in my time when I was there, Wallop Bro and the Dingle Johnson, and that added motorboat fuels and terminal tackle. What it is a small fee that is taxed, goes to the federal foundation that instruments this, and then is shared back to the states so that the states have the money to protect our wildlife, to do the research, to put the seasons on them, and to do all of the things that we do in preserving wildlife habitat. So that was the important thing to me. That was what brought our organization together, called the Congressional Sportsmen's Caucus, a bipartisan group of Republicans and Democrats who had an interest in seeing preserving the future of hunting in this country. Because when you look at our nation and you think about all of the diverse groups that are out here that comprise the American culture, I would hate to see the outdoor community cease to exist. And with certain threats to it, it could happen. So we formed a group professionally. Dick Schultz, my mentor in this, who was the first president, called me one day. Here he is, a conservative Republican from Pennsylvania, calls an old Georgia Democrat and says, Lindsay, I'm going to start the Congressional Sportsmen's Caucus. And I'm going to be the first president. I'd like for you to be my vice president. And I said, well, when do we meet and where? Because I knew what it was all about. We had met each other, knew each other, worked together in a sort of an ad hoc method to prevent some of the mischief that was coming up in Congress and some of the things that needed to be done. Just an informal group of us that all loved and shared interest in hunting and fishing. Don Young, whose name's on that award, and John Dingle, two of the oldest serving members. They're both gone now. So at any rate, out of that came what is today the Congressional Sportsmen's Caucus, the largest, one of the really last bicameral, bipartisan caucuses in the Congress. We're organized in all 50 states. We have 36 governors groups that join us, and then, of course, the big caucus of a largest bipartisan caucus in the Congress to work on these issues. And as much as anything, we protect the Pittman-Robertson Act, which is, let me explain it simply. We pay taxes to drive down the highway. We buy tags. We pay, that's what builds our roads and highways. That's a user fee. That's what this small tax that goes into the Federal Reserve that disperses that back to the states. And it provides about 80%, to give you an example, of Georgia's DNR funding comes from Pittman-Robertson. So it's the hunters and fishermen paying for the sport they participate in by a small tax on their equipment. And that's why we have the diversity of wildlife. That was our cornerstone provision, was to protect Dingle, to protect the Pittman-Robertson Act. And we've been very successful at it, even though there have been attempts to come in and change it. So that's why I've been proud to be a part of this, because I know the outdoor life in our part of the country is one of the most important aspects of our culture down here. And I want to see that preserved for the future, and I'm doing all I can to help with that.
Where are the threats coming from to try to hurt?
A lot of times it's unknowingly. Just people that don't, it's not necessarily an anti-hunter, but it's somebody that would introduce a bill to say, this wildlife refuge up here where hunting is permitted as a management tool is getting highly populated in the area. We think people are too close to be hunting and fishing, so we want to stop hunting and fishing on that refuge. And we would just step in and say, oh, no, you don't. So it's a lot of, but there is still that anti-effort that wants to delay the rights to hunt, the right to transport game across property lines, the right to legitimate firearms as hunting weapons. All of these things fit into that big issue there of pro or anti. And there are strong anti-groups out there that would stop the taking of fish or birds or wildlife of any kind.
Are these all vegetarians?
Geez. That's one of the principal things that's involved here in our strong story is, can you imagine if you took all of the protein that comes from the natural habitat out there, not with chemicals, not with drugs, not raised in pens, but if you took that off the table in America, can you imagine how many feedlots we would have to establish to provide the protein? So, no, these people are they just have that anti-attitude. They didn't come up as most of us have in the country, hunting and fishing, enjoying the outdoors, and they just don't understand it. It's a foreign concept. But it's why in that mix of the United States Congress, you have to have a concerted voice for those who do.
And a bipartisan voice also.
It must be. You can't listen. If we can't look at things today and see that you can't do things unless you cooperate across party lines, you can't make things happen. That's exactly what we're doing and why we have built. And I took great pride the other night in being on the stage there with two members of the House, Republican and Democrat, and 2 members of the United States Senate, Republican and Democrat, and of course our great friend from the days at NASCAR, who is now the chairman of the Congressional Sportsmen's Caucus, brings together those kind of people that share a common interest, and so that's been the interest to me, is how it brings together disparate groups of people from all over the country, but with a common cause. When you get behind it, then you can make things happen, and that's what we've done.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a very good organization that you're involved with there, protecting not only the rights of hunters and outdoorsmen and fishermen, but also, as we well know, if you take a look at these groups, whether it's Ducks Unlimited or whether it's the Turkey Federation or if it's a local one, not only do they protect the rights of hunters and the sport itself and the right to be able to hunt, but they also very involved in conservation of wetlands and hunting lands and things of this sort. So, I would think that if people would take a close look at what is being done, they wouldn't be so anti-hunting.
Well, they would not understand really until it was explained to them why you have the abundance of wildlife and non-wildlife creatures that we enjoy. Birds and animals that we don't hunt, but we enjoy seeing. And all of that's because the habitat is being preserved, and hunting and fishing is sort of the money that provides for all of that to be in the state that it's in. And if it weren't for that, much of that land would be developed, much of it would be put to other uses, and they wouldn't see the wildlife that they enjoy, even though they don't hunt and fish.
I mean, you look at the thousands of acres and just in our area, southeast Georgia, this WMA, that's open for the public. We had our hunting and fishing show on last week with the Department of Natural Resources game wardens in here, Bob White, John Evans, and talking about the upcoming hunting season, new rules and regulations, things that people need to know about. But one of the things they talk about a lot are the WMNAs and WMNA. And a lot of people go on those for more than just hunting, more than just fishing. There's bird watching, there's enjoying the outdoors and nature and stuff like that. So it's good to have these WMAs that people can go on and not have to have a friend that's got several hundred acres.
Well, you're right. It's open to the public, and there are a lot of guys that coming up, starting off working and love to hunt and fish, and they don't have the means to have their own property or to be members of very high-priced organizations that do have clubs and land. That's good, too. They'll get to that point. But you're right. This public access is a critical part of preserving hunting and fishing for the future, and it's just my hope that everybody that goes on those properties does it with the right attitude, an attitude about conservation, abiding with the laws, thinking about the importance of the game, and being sure that they're around for their children and the next generation.
Our guest this morning here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show is Lindsey Thomas. Lindsey, we appreciate you coming in. And so, you've gotten this award right here. You're involved in so much. Anything else going on that you'd like to talk about this morning?
Well, we're still working on the Omaha River event here at JC Landing, where we've gotten some new funding now for extension of the river walks. We've gotten a yurt up. In fact, we're going to have a little ribbon cutting in the morning. I'd like to invite everybody to
tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
And where at?
Down at the landing.
At the landing,
yeah, where we've got the yurt, which is a tent type facility where you can come and rent, spend the night. Got showers and everything available.
And what's it called again?
It's called a yurt.
A yurt?
A yurt, yeah.
Is that European or something? What is a yurt?
I have to tell you, I don't know where that comes from, but that's what it's called at any rate. And so we're moving forward with that and beginning to work towards the main thing down at the end, which is the idea of an interpretive educational conservation center where we can have meetings, where we can talk about all that wide diversity on the Omaha. And incidentally, the DNR itself has just reported one of the largest population of swallowtail kite known anywhere in the country on the Omaha River, and bird watching, and we have bird watching stations there now. We'll build another. We have one already. So to come and see that river is enough, to see the vegetation, the trees that are protected on both sides, as we know now under conservation easement, all the way to the coast. This opportunity here is just incredible. We've got a new bait shop operator. He's doing a great job hunting and fishing, and I understand that Griffin Ridge, directly in front of the landing now, will be open to public hunting. It's part of that effort. So we've got one of the world's greatest resources for outdoor recreational hunting, fishing, and wildlife observation, including bird watching, that I've ever seen. In all my travels that I've had an opportunity to do, I think it's the premier place, certainly in the state of Georgia, and maybe one of the great bird watching and environmental study places that I know of in the country.
When you grow up here, you kind of take it for granted, the Omaha River, but you've got from county line to county line, Wayne County, totally undeveloped outdoor natural resources there with the river and the land and the swamps and the birds and the fish and the deer, everything that is just basically almost, I won't say completely untouched, but compared to some areas of where rivers are, it's untouched.
The Omaha River Basin, and of course on the other side we've got Little Sotillo on the other property line, and we've got lands all around us. But I still maintain it is easy for us to live here and enjoy the river and actually spend time on it, and yet not understand what a great resource it is and what it's a great attractive to other people. Now, some people would say, in fact, I had a great friend, well-known Wayne County, and one of the nicest guys I ever knew, a very important person, said to me when we first started this effort, he said, Lindsey, I wish I'm not going to oppose you, what you want to do down there, but I wish you'd leave the river alone. Now, that's not going to happen. Populations grow. The land around it is being used intensively. There's all sorts of things that bring change to that river. And so we've got to have people who love it, who are committed to it and understand it, not just the folks from an official position, but John Q. Public, who comes to realize what a great resource we have here, and we need to share it to build support for it in the coming years.
Now, you've got the ribbon cutting for the yurt in the morning. Where is it located, and what time is that ribbon cutting?
It's right there at JC Landing.
Right there at JC Landing.
Yep, just come to the landing, you'll see it.
Big tent thing set up for people can spend overnight in.
It's already, no, it's not a big, now the yurt is not that big. It's an individual place that accommodates 6 to 8 people.
Okay.
But they'll see it. It's right in where the recreational vehicle operates, which will be expanded, reopened, got it operating good under good.
What, the campground?
Oh yeah, the campground, and it's really getting used. For a while, it was kind of an abandoned resource.
Right.
A lot of people moved in and became pretty permanent. Well, this is now used as it should be, as an RV facility where people come in and book it and stay a certain period of time and then leave.
Right.
All of that's been done, and in fact, most every Wayne Countyans should take the time to ride down there and take their kids sometime and just walk down the river walk, sit on the bird watching station, and just see what all's going on, if they don't hunt and fish.
If people don't bird watch, they don't realize how big of a pastime that is for people. There's a lot of folks out there just love to bird watch.
It's been one of the most successful outdoor recreational improvement areas in the state of Texas. They have made absolutely hundreds of millions of dollars come into the Texas economy because of the interest in bird watching and observation. Our birds are under great pressure. It's another whole story in itself. But we're blessed here to have that rare bird, the swallowtail kite. I see them on the farm. We see them from time to time. So apparently we're blessed in this area, and I think that's going to make that landing thing a famous place for bird watching myself.
And what time is that ribbon cutting in the morning for the year?
I think it's at 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah,
okay.
But I would suggest people being there at about 10 in the morning.
Okay.
No big event or anything. We're just going to cut the ribbon for the yurt, and we wanted the people to see how things are moving along down there.
Folks, if you've never seen a yurt before, which I don't think I ever have, you can go down there and check it out.
Well, what we have here that makes this place special. We're halfway on the flow of the river, 135 miles. We're halfway. And there's no place really to pull out, to haul out, to reprovision, to spend the night. This is it. And from the halfway mark where we sit, both sides of the river, from there all the way to the coast, as I say, are under conservation easement. It'll never be timbered or cut or up to the banks. The game will be protected. It'll be camping. You can pull out and camp on the sandbars. We've just got the opening here, really, for one of the greatest. I think it could be like the Appalachian Trail for kayakers, with all of the landings up and down the river. To come in and then wind up here, pull out, reprovision, take a shower, eventually, hopefully, maybe have food, and hopefully in the very near future, this conservation center where we'll explain the importance of the river both commercially and from an environmental standpoint, and have a lot of hopefully views, things, the history of the river, a lot of things for people to be educated with. It'll make it a very interesting place. And I just want to close my comment about that. We've got young kids here in this community who've never had a chance to be on that river, who don't know how important it is, that it's the largest river, one of the largest east of the Mississippi, drains a quarter of our state, the largest river in our state, with the greatest floodplain, 8 miles wide. There's nothing like it. And they need to understand the significance of this river.
Okay. Bob, any other questions or comments for Lindsey Tom this morning?
I just appreciate you coming in.
Glad to be here. I appreciate y'all giving me a chance to make a plug for them.
Okay. Don't be a stranger. Come back again sometime,
Thanks
Lindsey.
a lot, Butch.
All right, take care. We'll be back more of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show in a moment.
South Georgia weather.
Here's your WIFO forecast. Sunny for today. Gusty northeast winds later, highs low 80s. Clear upper 50s for tonight. Sunny low 80s for tomorrow, upper 50s tomorrow night. Wednesday, sunshine, highs low 80s. Thursday, sunshine, highs low 80s. Friday, partly sunny, high low 80s. Saturday, mostly sunny, upper 70s. Sunday, mostly sunny, highs mid 70s. Georgia Chief Meteorologist John Weatherby in the GNN Weather Center.
105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO. We continue on with the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO. Well, Bob, the Wayne County Yellow Jackets, boy, what a comeback for them on Friday night. I mean, they could have folded up tent and just said, yeah, this is it. But, man, they came back, they fought, they clawed, they did everything they could to bring it in within 5 points of Burke. I mean, what a comeback for them.
It was a good game, but just those 5 turnovers
proved
costly.
Key,
and they said Georgia got lucky with, they lost the turnover battle, but still won the game. Like I said, Georgia had the interception, the fumble, but survived against Auburn. But Brock Bowers, just throw it to him. Just throw it to Brock.
When in doubt, throw it to Brock.
What a player. They said after the ball game, he might be the best collegiate player in the country right now.
And he plays
tight end.
I thought he was tight end. Yeah.
Well, they played him at fullback a little bit. They're using him a lot more different positions. But Georgia got the huge game this weekend in Athens. Kentucky comes in unbeaten.
Unbeaten. It's night game, you said?
7 o'clock, I think.
Okay, 7 o'clock against unbeaten Kentucky. Boy, they're rolling, aren't they?
They beat.
We got a Wayne County guy on that team, don't we?
Trevin Wallace had a nice interception against the Gators.
Yes, plays defense for Kentucky.
Tell you, Kentucky's got Florida, and that's 3 in a row. They beat Florida.
Florida 3 in a row now, man. Who would have ever thought that?
And Ole Miss got the big win over LSU over the weekend.
Who would have thought that?
So much for Brian Kelly. I told my sister, we're glad he's out of Notre Dame. Y'all can have him. She called me. He said, "What kind of coach we getting from Notre Dame?" I said, "Not a good one."
Oh, now didn't Notre Dame and Duke play this weekend?
Yeah, that's a good ball game.
Yeah, good ball game. Duke almost won, but didn't quite happen.
Notre Dame won by 7. So.
Yeah.
But Jimbo Fisher and Brian Kelly both in the hot seats already.
Yeah, well, Texas A&M won this weekend.
Yeah, they got Alabama this week.
They got Alabama this week. Yeah. Alabama turned it on this weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, Saban's starting to put it all together. I said they look pretty good the last couple of weeks. Beat up on Ole Miss and beat up on Mississippi State. So we'll see how the Texas A&M game goes. But a lot of football yet to be played. Like I said, it's funny. All the pundits saying Georgia's not number one. Georgia's not number one. They don't look like a number one team right now.
They don't. They're struggling against unranked teams. South Carolina and Auburn struggling against them. I mean, it's going to be a test this coming Saturday night.
How long can the winning streak go? That's anybody.
They got the talent. It's just like Coach Kirby said after the game. We're not where we should be yet. And do you blame that on the players? Do you blame it on the coaching? A combination thereof. They've got the talent. They just somehow just ain't hitting on all 8 cylinders right now.
Anybody that follows sports knows you don't win forever. So eventually that winning streak's going to come to a close. So we'll see when it does. I still think the game at Tennessee is the game that scares me. I think we'll win at home this weekend against Kentucky, but
they play better when we get this fast.
That trip to Rocky Top's the one that's worrying me. So.
Well, got to congratulate Georgia Southern. What a great game. First time in forever that I know of that they've been sold out against, and then they played against Coastal Carolina, and they win that game over Coastal Carolina. Very important, region, what do they call it, a division game there against Coastal Carolina. So go Eagles. I mean, what a great game for them. And I can't believe Georgia Tech lost to Bowling Green. I'm still trying to understand that, but they did. But Southern won, and then the Jaguars and Falcons went at it yesterday morning early over there in good old jolly old England, and Jaguars put a whipping on the Falcons. And they hang out all week long. They don't have to come back to the United States. The Jaguars don't. They'll be taking on Buffalo. Man, did Buffalo put a whipping on Miami. Woo!
They shut down that.
They said, no, we're still the big boys in this Eastern division here. So it's going to be Jaguars and Buffalo beginning at 9:30 kickoff this coming Sunday morning. And we'll have that for you on Fox Sports Radio, 1370 AM, the WLOP. So just a lot of great football over the weekend. And did Taylor Swift make it to the game last night?
She was there.
That's right. I remember reading this morning. She had a posse with her. She had several other celebrities with her there in the skybox. So it just wasn't her. There were several other celebrities up there with her. She brought her posse with her.
She's taking over the NFL. That's all you talk about. It's driving some people crazy. You listen to these AM 1370 sports, and some guys are like, why are we doing that?
Yeah, the TV executives are loving it because it's bringing in a whole new set of viewers, those young ladies out there. So the TV networks are really loving it. But lots going on. We're about out of time here, Bob. Anything else on your mind this morning? I know we got girls softball this afternoon, right?
Girls softball senior day today, 5:30 against Ware County. We'll have it for you this afternoon here on the WIFO FM.
All right, Bob. Have a good day. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jesup. And it's been brought to you by Van's Barbecue, First Southern Bank, Murphy Builder Supply, Connection Coffee and Creamery, and O'Quinn & Associates.